Every month, the money comes in and every month it disappears before you can figure out where it went. You're not reckless, you're not bad with money. You are running a loop that was written before you ever earned a single pound. And here's what nobody tells you about that loop. The person who gave it to me was not careless, they were trying to protect me. It took me 10 years to see it and 4 specific changes to finally break it. When I got my first software engineering salary, I thought the struggle was over. More money than I had ever earned in my entire life. 6 months later, I checked my savings and the number had not moved. Same empty balance I had on every salary before this one. I was earning more and somehow keeping exactly the same amount of nothing. That's when I knew the problem was not the income. The problem was something running underneath every financial decision I made. What I'm about to show you is what that something actually is. I want to take you somewhere most finance channels never go. Not your salary, not your investments, not your budget. I'm talking about your childhood, because that is where this pattern actually begins for most people. When I was young, I went to boarding school. I was the first kid in my extended family to go. My dad made sure I always had enough money, so I would never have to worry. If I asked him for 1500 rupees, he would send me 2500 rupees every single time, without fail, more than I asked for. His whole thing was simple. Focus on your studies, do not worry about the money. And I did exactly that. If I did not like the food in the mess that day, I ate from the canteen instead. I spent on snacks whenever I felt like it. I even saved up the extra money and bought myself a mobile phone. I spent every single penny before the next payment arrived. And here's the thing, that took me a decade to understand. That was completely a logical decision at the time. I knew with absolute certainty that more money was coming. My dad always sent it first of the month without fail. So why would I save any of it? There was no risk and there was no consequence. Spend it all today because more is coming tomorrow. I had built a loop in my brain without ever knowing it was there. Money comes in, money goes out. More money comes next month. I call this the pocket money loop. That loop ran perfectly in the childhood. Then I grew up, I started earning my own money. And my brain did exactly what it had been trained to do. The salary arrived and the salary disappeared, just like the pocket money always did. Because deep down, I was still that kid at the boarding school, still certain that more money was coming on first of the month, still spending freely because the refill was guaranteed. Except now, the refill was not my dad, it was my paycheck. And the paycheck had bills attached to it, and the rent, and the debt, and the real consequences. But the loop did not know any of that. It just knew one thing: spend it all, more is coming. Now you might think this only applies to my specific situation, but if you have ever earned more money and still had nothing to show for it, the same pattern is running in you right now. Maybe you got it differently through your parents, your environments, or years of living paycheck to paycheck where saving felt impossible. The label does not matter, the pattern is identical. Money in, money out, and wait for more. And here's why: it does not just keep you broke at one income level, it actually gets worse every time your pay goes up. The pocket money loop does not just keep you stuck on a low salary, it follows you up every single rung of the income ladder. Every time you earn more, it increases your spending to match, automatically, without effort, without you even noticing it happening. I call this the escalation trap. And it hit me harder than I expected. When I was earning around £5 an hour at a restaurant, I spent every penny. Then I got a slightly better paying job. I spent that too. And when I landed my software engineering salary, my income nearly doubled overnight. Nicer flat, newer car, more meals out, and branded clothes. Each upgrade felt like a reward I had earned after years of struggling. But here's what was actually happening underneath all those upgrades. Say you earn £2,500 a month and spend £2,300. Your surplus is £200 a month going towards your future. You get a raise to £3,200 a month. The pocket money loop kicks in immediately. You upgrade the flat, you get a car and finance, a few more subscriptions. Now you spend £3,000 a month. Your surplus is still £200 a month. Nothing actually changed. But if you catch the escalation trap and keep your spending at £2,300, your surplus jumps from £200 to £900 a month. Same job, same raise, but one version builds wealth and one just looks nicer. Over 10 years, that difference is over £140,000 in invested growth. I did not see that happening in my own life for years. Every pay rise I got quietly absorbed by the pocket money loop before I even noticed. But something eventually forced me to stop and look at it properly. And it did not come from a book or a YouTube video. It came from one sentence that someone close to me said at the exact right moment. I was staring at my bank balance a few days after the payday. The money had already landed and the most of it was already spoken for. Bills, car payment, and the lifestyle I had built around this salary. There was almost nothing left and the month had barely started, and I was still in exactly the same position I had been in, earning minimum wage. That was the moment something clicked. This is not bad luck. This is not the salary. This is a pattern. And then my wife said something simple that changed everything. She was not angry about it, and she was not being dramatic. She just looked at me and said, "Why don't we save a portion first before we spend anything? Just something for a rainy day." That was it. No spreadsheet, no system, no finance lecture. Just one idea from someone close enough to see what I could not see myself. Save first before the spending starts, before the lifestyle inflates, before the pocket money loop gets anywhere near the money. I had always done it the other way around my entire life. Spend first, save whatever is left at the end of the month. But nothing was ever left because the loop made sure of that. She was suggesting I flip the entire sequence around, and that one flip is what eventually changed everything for me. Now let me show you the exact 4 changes I made to rewire the loop. They go from the simplest to the most powerful, so stay with me through all 4. Rewire 1 is called the first slice. The moment your salary hits your account, a fixed amount leaves immediately. Not at the end of the month, not after bills, but before any of that happens. Set up a standing order for the day you get paid. Your saving account gets paid first before your lifestyle gets a chance to touch it. Start with 10% of your take-home pay if you can manage it. But even 5% completely changes the pattern because you're not just saving money, you are rewriting the loop. You're teaching your brain that not all of the money belongs to spending, and some of it belongs to your future. The amount matters less than the habit. Start with whatever you can and increase over time. This is the foundation, but it only works long term if the loop cannot sneak around it. Which brings us to the second rewire. Rewire 2 is called the visibility split. The pocket money loop works because all your money sits in one place, one account and one balance, one pool of money that all feels available to spend, and available money gets spent. That is how the loop is designed. The fix is to separate your money physically into different places. Account 1 is for bills and essentials only, like rent, utilities, groceries, and transport. Account 2 is your spending account for the month. Meals out, entertainment, whatever you enjoy. When it hits zero, you stop until the next payday. Account 3 is completely separate, a saving account that your spending card cannot access. When I separated my money like this, something shifted immediately. I stopped feeling like I had more money than I actually did, because each account had a clear purpose and a visible limit. The physical separation creates a mental boundary that the pocket money loop never had. These first 2 rewires handle the automatic part of the loop. But there is a second layer to that is even more dangerous. The emotional spending that happens in the moment. When something feels like it deserves your money right now, the next 2 rewires handle that layer. They are the ones that made the biggest difference for me. Let me pause here for a second. Look at what you now understand that you did not know before. You can see the pocket money loop and where it came from. You can see the escalation trap and how every pay rise gets quietly absorbed. You have the first slice pulling money to safety before the loop runs, and you have the visibility split. So available money does not trick you into spending it. That is already a stronger foundation than most people will ever build. But remember what I said at the very start of this video? The person who gave me this loop was trying to protect me. I have not told you yet who that was and why it matters. That is coming, and it changes how you see this entire pattern. First, the 2 rewires that handle the emotional side of the loop. Rewire 3 is called the 72-hour freeze. Every lifestyle upgrade feels completely justified in the moment you are about to make it. New phone, bigger apartment, better car, nicer clothes. There is always a reason that makes perfect sense right then and there. That is the pocket money loop running at its full speed. The emotion drives the decision. The money goes out, the cycle repeats. The 72-hour freeze interrupts that cycle with one simple rule. For any non-essential purchases over £100, you wait 72 hours before you buy it. You're not giving it up for good. Just 3 days of space between the impulse and the decision. During those 3 days, ask yourself one question. Am I buying this because I actually need it, or because it feels like a reward right now? Most purchases do not survive 72 hours of that question. The emotion fades, the justification weakens, and the money stays where it belongs. I used to buy a brand new iPhone every single year, not because my phone was broken, because a new phone felt like I was doing well. That was the loop running exactly the way it was designed to run. The 72-hour freeze is what finally broke that specific loop for me. Now, the last rewire is the one nobody talks about, and it is the one that ties everything together. Rewire 4 is called the enough line. The pocket money loop has no finish line built into it. There's no point where it says you have spent enough this month. It just keeps running until every pound is gone. The enough line is hard limit you set before the month begins, not after it ends, when it's too late to change anything. Before the first pound is spent, you write down your monthly spending limit across all the categories like food, transport, entertainment, and personal spending. Real numbers with specific amounts written down on a piece of paper. And when a category hits zero, it is done for the month. It is not a guideline or a soft suggestion. It is a hard boundary. This feels restrictive for the first month or two. That is the loop resisting. But after a couple of months, something interesting happens. You actually stop feeling deprived because every pound you spent was planned. You made the decision with a clear head before the month started, not in the moment of emotion, with the pocket money loop whispering in your ear. Those are the 4 rewires: the first slice, the visibility split, the 72-hour freeze, and the enough line. But there is one more thing I need to tell you about this loop before we finish, and it is the part that changed how I see the whole pattern. I told you at the start that the person who gave me this loop was trying to protect me. Here's what I meant by that. My dad grew up in a small village. He never had the things I grew up with. No meals out, no trips, no luxury of any kind. He worked as a farmer and a school teacher at the same time, just to make sure his family had enough. He did 2 jobs every day for years. And when I went to the boarding school, the first kid in the whole extended family to go to, he made one decision that came from a place of pure love. He made sure I would never worry about money. If I asked for 1,500, he sent 2,500 every single time without fail. Always more than I needed, because he had felt what it was like to not have enough, and he did not want that feeling anywhere near his son. He was not trying to teach me bad habits. He was being the best dad he knew how to be. He was protecting me from one thing he understood better than anyone: the stress of not having enough money. He did not know what that protection would turn into over the next decade. And at the same time, neither did I. But by the time I was an adult with bills and debt and a family of my own, the pocket money loop was fully running, and it was mine to deal with, not his. Nobody was coming to fix it for me. The moment I accepted that, things started to shift. Not because I had more money, because I stopped waiting for the next pay rise to solve the problem that no pay rise could fix. The loop was not my fault, but updating it was my responsibility. And here's the part that took me longest to understand. You can update the loop without resenting the person who wrote it. My dad gave me everything he had, literally more than I asked for, every time. The pocket money loop was a side effect of being loved by someone who grew up with nothing. Once I saw that clearly, I could change the pattern without any anger attached to it. Just gratitude and a decision to do things differently going forward. There is something I'm working on for the future video that connects to this. The exact system I use now to manage every pound of my salary across 4 accounts with specific percentages and hard boundaries. If that sounds useful, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. At the start of the video, I told you the person who gave me this pattern was trying to protect me. Now you know who it was, and now you know why. My dad was working 2 jobs in a village, sending his son more money that he asked for, so that his son could focus on his future without worrying. That protection created a loop that kept him broke for 10 years. And 4 specific rewires are what finally broke it. Here's the full plan one final time. Recognize the pocket money loop running in your own life. See where it started and understand why it does not work anymore. Apply the first slice. Set up automatic transfer on your payday. Your savings get paid before your lifestyle does. Set up visibility split. 3 separate accounts: bills, spendings, and savings. Each one with clear purpose and visible limit. Use the 72-hour freeze. Any non-essential purchase over £100, wait 3 full days. And ask yourself one question: do I need this, or does it just feel like a reward right now? Draw the enough line. Write down your spending limits by category before the month starts. When a category hits 0, it's done. That is the complete plan for rewiring the pattern. And here's one bonus that ties it all together. Find someone in your life who handles money differently from you. Not to judge you or to lecture you, just someone whose habits you respect. My wife was that person for me. One sentence from her is what cracked the whole thing open. Sometimes the most useful financial insight does not come from a video or a book. It comes from someone close enough to see what you cannot see on your own. Be open to that when it shows up. Now, once you can see the loop, the next question is, what do you actually do with your money each month? I made a full video breaking down the real UK salary, pound by pound, every account, every number, using the exact system I follow now. That video is right here. Don't click on it just yet. Make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. I make videos like this every single week. I'll see you in the next one.